Parents, I know it's hard. I know you feel like you have no time. But guess what? You had no time in 2023, in 2024, 2025. You're never going to have time. And 2026 is not going to be any easier. That's why you have to commit. You have to attack this year. There's nothing more important and there's nobody more important than you and your health. You can't help others, you can't serve others unless you are healthy and strong. So this is a huge opportunity for you to transform and to become that 2.0 version of yourself. So don't let this year fly by. All right, welcome back to the Next Level Dad Fitness Podcast. First off, I want to say Happy New Year, Happy 2026. Super grateful and thankful to be spending it with you guys. I had a phenomenal 2025. I broke through so many self-limiting beliefs that I had about myself. I accomplished so much more than I ever imagined. And it didn't come without setbacks, right? Had some big setbacks, but I had some big wins. So, and that's just the way things go sometimes. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But overall, super thankful and grateful for 2025. And thank you all for spending some time with me in the new year in 2026. So, as we know, as you head into a new year, lots of people have goals, aspirations, New Year's resolutions, lists, whatever you want to call them. And for me, the beginning of the year is always a special time. It's my birthday, and on the first, and I always, aside from it being my birthday, I always look forward to the beginning of the year because I do write goals and I do write New Year's resolutions and I do all that cheesy stuff because I just believe in it. And I try to, as much as I possibly can, stick to those goals and resolutions. And I try my very best to commit. And so when we get to the lists and when we get to all of the things that we want to do, sometimes we find it hard to commit to these goals because they take a lot of time, they take a lot of energy. Sometimes these goals require us to actually change the person that we have always been, and through that comes a lot of discomfort. And for some, the discomfort is just too much and they revert back. But for some, uh, the new year represents a new self, a shedding of the old, and stepping into a new version, a 2.0 version of themselves. And that version can be and can look a lot of different ways for people. It could be a professional thing, it could be a business thing, it could be a fitness thing. And so that's what I wanted to talk about today. Me as a former athlete, I always found that a new season, it just brings a freshness to it, a spark, a a vision that maybe this year's going to be greater and better than I ever imagined. And that's why I feel that the new year is such a special time. And so, whether you have goals or not, it's the beginning of the year still kind of subtly begs the question of, will you shed that old version of yourself and become even better? Are you going to improve, or are you going to stay the same, status quo? And so that's why I felt like it was really important to make this podcast and to talk about some of the things that are practical, that I can help others with, that you can take and that you can implement into your busy lives. Because as a dad, as a husband and as a busy professional, I understand 100% how busy people get and how fitness can kind of get put to the side. But for this next 2026, I hope that these four things that I give you here today can help you, can be somewhat of a pillar for you that you can utilize and that you can take and that you can sustain over the course of the year and beyond. So, scrolling through my phone these last couple of weeks, I saw a lot of fitness content. You see a lot of people talking about new year, new me. I've seen a lot of recipes actually, a lot of protein recipes. I know protein is kind of the hot topic nowadays on social media. You'll see, hey, try this protein bread where you mix in like a banana, an egg, cottage cheese, and protein powder, and then it comes out like perfectly sliced bread. And now you can eat protein all day long, or protein pizza with um, a ground chicken crust, and some pepperoni on there. And now you can have protein on protein. You can add, protein powder to your steak, and you'll just get double the protein. So, all of these wonderful things, all these great recipes, and all that stuff is cool. But honestly, I think it's a lot of fluff. It's a lot of distraction from what you should actually do and what's actually practical, what you can actually use in your life. A lot of it is just kind of grabbing your attention, like, hey, try this recipe, go buy all of these ingredients, spend all of this time and money buying things that you'll use once, but the essence of what you actually should be doing, which is just following simple, basic steps to reach your fitness goals, aren't being talked about. It's more of a lot of fluff, like I said, just like a workaround, but that's not going to move the needle in March, April, May, when you're kind of wavering or when you're considering falling off. So, with all that being said, let's move into 2026 with some momentum. And the first pillar that I want to talk about is strength training. And why strength training? And why not swimming? Why not yoga? Why not running? All of those things are great, but strength training is the one thing that will help you build and maintain your muscle. And as we age, we want to build more muscle so that we can protect our joints, so that we can become more resilient to injuries, to strain. And so we want to build muscle so that we can be and maintain our level of resilience. We want to be resilient as men, as women. We don't want to rely on others for our independence. And that's very, very important. And so I work as a firefighter, and I can directly attribute my longevity to my strength training regimen. And do I get nicked up from time to time? Sure. The job is very physically demanding. It demands a lot of your bodies, of your mind. And, injuries happen. But I'm coming up on 14 years now. And thank God I've been able to sustain and I've been able to maintain my body. But the job does beat you up, getting woken up at 3 in the morning, running into a burning building, 0 to 60. Or maybe it's not a burning building. Maybe it's just picking someone up off the ground that fell, and they're kind of wedged in between a closet and a toilet and a sink. on the third floor of a 3-story townhome. And not only do you have to pick them up off the ground, you got to carry them down the flights of stairs. A lot of that stuff beats people up. And so you want to be resilient. You want to have the strength in your body to hold up for all of those calls. But what if you aren't a firefighter? Do you still need to lift weights? And to that I say absolutely. Building muscle helps you burn calories. So me sitting here speaking on the microphone, talking on this podcast, I'm burning calories while I'm resting. And that's what muscle helps you do when you strength train and build muscle. It also helps you regulate your insulin sensitivity. And why is that important? Well, here in the States, we have an obesity epidemic. We have foods that have all different types of additives in them. They're making us sick, and building muscle helps with all of that. Now, it's not an end all be all, it's not a solution to everything, but it definitely helps with a variety of health issues. So, how long do you need to lift? Do you need to spend an hour, 2 hours in the gym? Do you need to do another hour of cardio? Absolutely not. For me, I spend 4 days in the gym, 45 minutes of weight training. You get your work in and then you get out. And if you want to break it down by body part, that's just kind of the easiest way. You want to go legs, chest, back, shoulders, get in, get out. 45 minutes. If you don't know what to do, then just watch a YouTube video. There's 1,000 videos that can show you how to lift weights, how to get a workout routine for your shoulders or for your legs. And if you want, some big juicy arms, add an arm day in there too. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. The information's out there. It's all out there. You just got to go in with intention and put in the work. And that's why I think it's so important. Strength and resiliency as a man, as we age, is huge. And like I said, as a woman too. And so that leads me into pillar number 2 is you want to eat your protein. Like I said earlier, everybody's talking about protein pancakes, protein waffles, protein coffee. Everything has protein in it. But what does that mean in actuality? And what I want to do here is just break it down so you don't have to overthink it. Usually, for most people, now this number can vary. If you're trying to gain muscle, if you're trying to gain lean mass, all of these things can vary. But for the average person, you need about 180 to 200 grams of protein per day. And so if you weigh 200 pounds, aim for 200 grams of protein. It's the most important macronutrient that we have because it's super easy to undereat. Eating a higher amount of protein will keep you full for longer. It'll keep you away from the bag of chips. It'll keep you away from overeating the peanut butter. That's been one of my biggest nemesis is the late night peanut butter. And usually, once I found out why I was doing that, I was just under eating protein. And I was still hungry at the end of the day. So what would I do? I would then go and eat half a tub of peanut butter. And so knowing that, I've adjusted and I've really, really kept track of my protein intake. And so when you aren't eating enough protein, it's super easy to eat whatever because you're hungry and you'll just grab and reach for the bag of chips. You'll grab and reach for the cookies and you'll just eat and you'll overeat. And those two things in particular are very high in calories very low to no nutritional value. And not to mention, those things are engineered by super smart people to keep you eating those Cool Ranch Doritos. Those are amazing. They taste so good. That's why you can't eat just one. But if you're eating enough protein, then your body's actually telling you that you're full. And so you won't even reach for the for the bag of chips because you're getting whole foods. You're eating whole foods that are keeping you full. And that's why I think, and I always emphasize eating more protein. So if you want to avoid the binge sessions, track your protein. No need to do mental gymnastics with the other numbers. If you're not working with a coach, if you're not really trying to get a specific body composition, then I wouldn't so much worry about my carbs, my fats. Those numbers are important, but if you just want something simple that you can just track easily, that's going to help you, it's eating enough protein. 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. Start there. If you want to get more complicated, you can look it up, or you can hire a coach. They can break it all down for you. They can give you a specific meal plan. But if you just want to improve your fitness at a general level, start there. And so that brings me to my next point. Because you're eating all of that protein, pillar number 3 is you have to drink more water. And by drinking more water, I mean a minimum of 100 fluid ounces per day. Eating a lot of protein, your body will create more metabolic waste, which your kidneys need to flush out. And drinking 100 fluid ounces of water will help your kidneys flush out all of that waste. Not to mention, since you're lifting and you're building muscle, you're feeding your muscles, because muscles are a large percentage water. And I know that if I had a good lifting session, I've been drinking water, or I'm feeling a little crampy, I know that that's a sign already that I'm dehydrated and I need to really catch up on my water. And so that's more of a late sign if you're dehydrated. But something more simple and more practical is, I've felt lots of times where I'm just feeling a little off, or if I'm feeling a little brain fog, 9 times out of 10, I am just dehydrated. I really focus on my water intake, and then a lot of that stuff just gets alleviated. No need to go on to Google, start asking Google, hey, what's wrong with me? Why do I feel like this? Then Google send you to WebMD, and then that is just a disaster. Trust me, I've done it. I know a lot of people have done that, and that'll just send you spiraling. So don't do that. Just drink some more water. See how you feel. A lot of the times that'll help. And last but not least, maybe my personal favorite is walking 10,000 steps per day. And this pillar right here is so underrated, because lots of people think that you have to have these crazy cardio sessions, these crazy treadmill workouts where you sprint for 30 seconds, you step off, someone punches you 3 times in the gut, and then you hop back on, and then you sprint for another minute, and you're just drenched. You fall on the ground, or someone says, if you're a man, you should be able to sprint for 2 miles. Those are good markers, I guess. I mean, those are fun things. But if you're a guy in your 40s, you don't have time to do that. You don't have the energy. And that's just too much work and effort. I'm just not going to do that. I'm not even going to do that. So how could I realistically expect somebody who's just kind of trying to get started with their fitness and maintain something, not going to do it? But what you can do on a daily basis is take your family out for a walk. Go walk with your kids or your wife or whoever. Walk your dog. That walk with your family not only allows you to connect, but you just knocked out a 30-minute cardio session, because that is cardiovascular work. Maybe you just want to throw on a podcast, zone out, listen to something informative, listen to something that's going to help you, an audiobook or whatever. There's so many health benefits from walking. It relieves so much stress and anxiety. It helps you sleep better. It helps lower your resting heart rate. The list goes on and on about walks. And if you focus on the 10,000 steps, you're going to walk around 4 to 6 miles, give or take, maybe 5 or 6 miles. And if you do that on a consistent basis, like every day, 10,000 steps, your health markers are just going to get better and better. So don't sleep on the 10,000 steps per day, because that might be the most important one. So dads, parents, everybody, I know it's hard as we age. I know you feel like you have no time to do anything. You have to give your best to everyone. You have to serve. And I totally understand that. But you also have to understand that you cannot serve and give your best to your loved ones if you are not at your best physically, mentally. The mental benefits of exercise, the mental benefits of becoming that 2.0 version of yourself, getting into the best shape that you can possibly be at your age. Not the best ever, not the best in comparison to somebody else, the best that you can possibly be. And so don't let this year fly by like 2023 did, 2024, 25. This is a new year. This is a brand new opportunity to attack 2026, to turn the page. Because before you know it, it's going to be July. And now the kids are out of school. And now you really don't have time. Why? Because you need to babysit. You need to take them to this camp. You need to take them to this practice. You need to feed them. You need to do all of these things that parents need to do, and you just won't find the time. So what do? You create the time. Create it now. Create these habits now. Utilize this system, these 4 pillars now. Don't overcomplicate it. Leave that super cool Instagram protein recipe for another day. It's just fluff. Just focus on these 4 things and watch the wins pile up. So if you found this helpful, share it with another dad. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like the videos. Have an awesome 2026.